Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Compliment of the season, and I welcome you to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nina Oragwa, and our top stories tonight. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. On our first story, as Christians in Nigeria join their counterparts around the world to mark Good Friday, President of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, has urged Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of sacrifice and forgiveness exhibited by Jesus Christ to be able to take the country to greater heights. President Buhari, in an Easter message to Nigerians in the Christian world, urged all citizens to unite and use the season of Easter to celebrate both the resurrection of Jesus Christ and the rebirth of the Nigerian nation. He also admonished fellow citizens to be united, selfless and supportive of government to make life more meaningful to them. Others who made the appeal to Christian faithful were the Dean Emeritus, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Adebola Ademowo, the National President of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Reverend Felix Omobude. The death of Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary is a sign of God's love for humanity and should serve as a guiding principle of every Christian and all Nigerians. Archbishop of the Abuja Diocese of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, Oche Job, in a sermon on the significance of Good Friday, urges Nigerians to go back to God and be godly in all their deeds. Our correspondent, Kazim Kasali, has more in this report.
As Christians in Nigeria join their counterparts in other parts of the world in celebrating Easter, they've been urged to do more in the search for development for Nigeria by being godly in all that they do. Archbishop of the Abuja Diocese of the Methodist Church of Nigeria says the death of Jesus on the cross of Calvary is a reconciliation between man and God. He says Nigeria should reconcile so that the strife and general stagnation will be a thing of the past.
Some people have run away from the eastern part or the south part of the country to come there in Abuja. Not that they like to stay in Abuja. They have all their wealth in the east, but they left all.
Presbyter of the church, Ifeanyi Chukwu Nwade, says the death of Jesus is a big lesson in sacrifice and humility for all Nigerians, urging all to shun all forms of nepotism and other vices to move the nation forward.
Christ has paid the price. Christ expects us to walk in line with his teaching, obedience to the word of God, to love our fellow man, to love God, to love righteousness, to do his will.
The Easter celebrations continue all over the world with the Easter Sunday service and the visit to designated point to signify the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in Galilee. Kazim Kasali, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Still on the Easter celebration, most residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been spending the public holiday queued up waiting to buy fuel. Many of them expressing disappointment at what they see as insensitivity on government's part not to have made the product available, especially during this festive period. Our correspondent, Jamila Fegwa, has been seeking the opinion on the shortage and how it is affecting their holiday.
The streets of Abuja are nearly empty, not because most residents of the territory had gone on holidays, but because most vehicles are out queuing to buy fuel. The situation is getting worse as there is no availability of especially premium motor spirits, PMS. Most of them have been on these queues for days. It is indeed hectic for some who have been about town, coming from long distances just to find fuel. And calls are going out to government to help alleviate the sufferings being experienced by motorists.
They paid last night, and yet they are selling fuel for other people. And they say they are stakeholders. And we'll be here, we're in the same Nigeria, facing the same situation, and others are benefiting from it.
You have to be on the queue. You have to be on the go, man, every time. This is the second time I'm queuing in 2 weeks. And now, as you can see, they are not even selling yet. So we don't even know our fate. We don't know if we're going to be here till like 6. Hopefully the government puts a solution to this.
It's still bad. I left my house at about 5 a.m. this morning looking for fuel. I drove around my area starting from Karo side to Nyanya and along Jikoyi Road to this particular town, Wusetu. And all the filling stations I rushed in to buy fuel, they were not selling, and what they are just dispensing to their friends.
Government, through the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachku, recently said that Nigerians will have to endure the harrowing experience a few more months.
I don't want to put a time frame, but I will expect that over the next 2 months. Of course, you know that the DSDP program begins 1st of April. So over the next 2 months, we should see, quite frankly, a complete elimination of this. Our strategy is that whatever is produced in the refinery, as we begin to kit them up, will not go for sale. We're going to put that into strategic reserves.
This obviously would be a very bitter pill for Nigerians to swallow. Jamil Afegwa, CoreTV News, Abuja.
As Christians celebrate Good Friday, which is also known as Holy Friday, Great Friday, Black Friday or Easter Friday, Christian faithful have been advised to imbibe the virtues of Christ. In a flagship program called Digest, clergymen on the showreel reel out the significance and lessons of the lesson. Our correspondent has more in this report.
Good Friday is a Christian religious holiday commemorating crucifixion of Jesus Christ and his death at Calvary. The holiday is observed during the Holy Week as part of Friday preceding Easter Sunday. Good Friday is widely instituted among many national governments around the world, including most Western countries.
The humility of Jesus Christ was God Almighty as a father. He wasn't willing to go to that cross. At the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, if it is your, if left for me, I won't drink this cup, but not my way.
The branch cannot produce fruit except it match itself with the tree. You cannot do anything on your own except Christ is in you and you are in Christ.
Reacting to the bill to regulate religious preaching in Kaduna State, this is what they have to say.
The man is going beyond his bound. He's just 9 months in that particular era. He's going outside his bound. He's going against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that is just pure truth. And he should not create more. Kaduna used to be a hotbed of religious violence, and he should not multiply it.
It is very wrong, accurately. If we need to fight corruption in this country, not only arrest, prosecution, we can do the job. We have been mentioning the word of God, the word of God, the word of God. That is the only rod that can change people.
Everyone knows that is not opposed. But the issue is that when problems come to Nigeria, people don't want to speak out the truth. They will like to heed some of the things and the things killing everyone.
I would personally like to encourage Christians everywhere to fight the bill legally, to not speak to incite violence, and to just approach the thing as legally and also as spiritually as possible.
It is expected that Christians all over the world will imbibe the virtues of Christ as they celebrate his crucifixion and resurrection. Still in the spirit of Easter, the Plateau State Police Command is assuring residents of the state of adequate security during the Easter festivity. The Police Public Relations Officer, Abu Emmanuel, made us known to a correspondent in Jos while fielding questions from journalists. The reports.
According to the Police Public Relations Officer, various strategies have been employed by the command to ensure safety at worship centers and free flow of vehicular movement across the state.
Some of those arrangements include intensive patrolling of our environment, the religious metropolis, and other local government aims, as DPOs and other officers have been fully mobilized.
Abu says although the state has enjoyed relative peace, the residents should not let down their guards, adding that the command is not resting on its oars either, just to ensure that a long-lasting peace is achieved on the plateau.
Quite some time now, Plateau State has been witnessing relative peace, and that is exactly what the command is working on, to stabilize the peace so that we will enjoy total peace on the plateau.
Although several attacks were recorded last year and immediately after the general elections, a measure of peace has endured since the year began in Plateau State.
The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arasi, has charged officers and men of the police force to take all necessary measures in ensuring the provision of adequate security before, during and after the Easter celebrations. IGP Arasi notes that the command commissioners of police are to personally ensure that all key and vulnerable points within their jurisdictions, including places of worship, recreation centers, motor parks, highways, financial institutions, and all places of public resort adequately and effectively protected. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer B.C. Kolawole, the police chief equally extends hearty greetings to the entire Christian community in Nigeria as they join their brethren across the globe to mark the 2016 Easter celebration. IGP Arasi commends Nigerians for their patience and enjoins them to continue to support the force with useful information that will effectively assist the police in tracking down. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosheni, today calls on religious leaders to support the police with prayers in order to achieve success in combating crime in our society. He made this call at Alausa Secretariat Mosque during Jumat service to commemorate the celebration of the Police Week. The celebration of the Police Week dates back to April 7, 1973 and aims to give officers and men the opportunity to socialize from the rigors of work.
When we do it one by one, this was commemorate that period when both the southern and northern police were joined together to become the Nigerian police. It's a tradition that we lost before, which the first leadership is trying to revive and sustain all over the country, and of course the forces.
President Muhammad Buhari says he will list the amount of looted funds the administration has recovered from corrupt politicians. President Buhari stated this at the National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressive Congress. State House correspondent Abiola Oluwale has more in this package.
The statement made by President Muhammadu Buhari to list recovered looted funds is coming on the heels of that made by the national chairman of the party, John Odige Oyegun, while addressing the press during the last national caucus meeting of the party at the presidential villa. Though President Buhari decried the challenges involved in getting documents to prosecute some corrupt politicians in the country, he says he will soon list how much has been recovered so far.
We have to prove our case, we have to get credible documents before successful prosecution can be got from the judiciary and explanation made to the nation.
The president also maintains that his continued overseas trips is to clear the rot left behind by the PDP.
Nothing is better than personal touch or personal contact in that respect. And I believe we are learning a lot and we are getting a lot, which eventually the nation will realize.
The national chairman of the party also passed a vote of confidence on the performance of the president and the present administration.
Which means that this is a time to stand together. Which means that this is a time to rededicate ourselves and our party to the vision for which the people of this nation voted.
The performance of President Buhari since assuming office has attracted divergent views from Nigerians. From the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole reporting for CoreTV News.
President Muhammad Buhari has dissociated himself from the I Stand With Buhari advocacy group, demanding that the group should immediately stop claiming any alliance with the Buhari administration. In a statement released today by spokesperson Garba Shehu, President Muhammad Buhari also demands that the persons behind the controversial group should stop using the president's name and that of his wife, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, to promote themselves and their activities. He maintains that hashtag I Stand With Buhari group's premature and ostentatious celebration of the present administration's achievement is totally inconsistent with President Buhari's philosophy of service with humility. The spokesperson noted that while the present administration has indeed recorded significant successes in its priority areas of improving security across the nation, ending the Boko Haram insurgency, curbing official corruption and revamping Nigeria's economy, the president is well aware that his government still has a lot of national challenges to overcome. We'll take a break now, return with more stories. Just stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Glad to have you back. It's still CoreTV Primetime News. A quick recap of our top stories. For more news stories, you can join us on the social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News, on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV Space News. The Agatu community is seeking for a lasting solution to the mayhem confronting the community. Agatu indigenes are clamoring for the Fulani herdsmen to leave the community and move to the Nasarawa boundary.
The Director of Search and Rescue, NEMA Charles Otegbadi, urges citizens to always inform the appropriate authority whenever their security is being threatened. He solicits ranching as a long-term solution.
Given this situation now, we even said that maybe 70 or 80% solved. All the speakers here today, no one is focusing on who did what, but what is the cause. And what I can see clearly from the submission of practically everybody there is that the root cause of this problem is economic.
The convener Idoma Initiative, Paul Ede, is seeking for the intervention of government to put an end to the genocide going on in the Idoma community. He wants a lasting solution to the chaotic situation on ground.
I support the idea of creating grazing reserve. That is a long-term process. However, we have short-term measures which government must be proactive enough to be able to carry out the soonest.
The chairman Idoma Forum Abuja, James Idako, laments that his people are still dying on a daily basis. He says despite the fact that they are not sharing boundary with the Nasarawa indigents, they get slaughtered on a daily basis by Fulani herdsmen.
It's very important that we have peace in Agatu area, because Agatu area is divided with Nasarawa by the River Benue river. And you know how important water is for animal breeding, for cattle rearing in particular. So that is why we need peace in Agatu area for our people to have a peaceful atmosphere where they could.
On his part, the National Secretary, Mieti Alakatu Riaras Association, Usman Baba, says the government should pay more attention to livestock farming. The association condemns in strong terms the killing of innocent citizens.
We are prepared to embrace peace, and if there's peace, we are happy for it. Why not? We don't have boundaries with the Fulani herdsmen. There's nothing that should cause problem between us and family herdsmen.
The community is seeking for a long-term solution to the conflict.
The Plateau State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Daya Bogarab, has charged the State Local Government Management Committee Chairman and accountability of the funds they manage. He gave the charge after taking tour of the 17 local government areas in the state.
Citizens and state lawmakers have called for the close monitoring of local government administrators and the management of state finances.
Generally satisfied, but we will also call on the chairman to order to sit up and ensure that funds meant for a particular project must be judiciously used.
Some of the local government chairmen speaking during the tour bemoaned the several deductions being made by banks on their account due to the debt facilities taken by previous administrations.
The thought to undertake visit of the entire council areas in the state is indeed a step in the right direction.
Today remains one of those joyous moments in the life of this local government, principally to have the privilege of hosting the Honorable Commissioner.
The local government chairman recently got 2-month extension as management committee chairman of their local government councils.
The Police Service Commission has dismissed one assistant superintendent of police and approved the reduction in rank of a superintendent and an ASP over various established cases of misconduct. In a statement, the PSC spokesman Ikechukwu Ani disclosed that the decisions were reached at the 15th plenary meeting of the Commission held in Abuja and presided over by its chairman, Mike Okuru, a retired Inspector General of Police. The Commission rejected 23 appeals from dismissed policemen for reinstatement and restoration of ranks. It, however, approved the reinstatement of 10 other police officers and restoration of ranks. Nigeria is yet to deploy the use of public relations, although PR could immensely help the growth of the nation. This is the submission of Yomi Badejo, the Secretary General of African Public Relations Association, at a briefing in Lagos. He also discloses that the first ever APR summit in Nigeria, scheduled to hold in Calabar this year, plans to fashion out strategies by which the private sector especially can help improve Nigeria's goodwill. Our correspondent, Victoria Solomon, files in this report presented from our studios.
Public relations is an essential tool in the creation of goodwill and understanding among customers, employees, and the general public. PR has become a professionalized activity, carefully guided by ethics and codes, and a science that can be explored to nurture Africa.
Public relations used to be seen as an art, but for me it is a science, and until we evolve that science well enough or in a better form, we still struggle. So Africa still struggles when it comes to the profession.
Without doubt, Africa still struggles with its public relations.
How do we value what we do, the kind of work we do, the service we provide, has been a major challenge to us. The issue of creativity has been a challenge to us. Public relations is no longer about press releases, it's no longer about, some people call it protocol, and definitely it's not about bribe giving.
The upcoming summit plans to attract tourists from all over the world.
Their theme is leapfrogging of Africa. It's to change the narrative so that people feel more comfortable coming to Nigeria. And I'm so happy that APRA is in Nigeria this year. For them to choose Calabar and to choose Nigeria, that means they want to spread the news to other people that it's safe to come to at least to the southern part.
The choice of Calabar as venue of the gathering is relevant.
They haven't chosen a better place. They couldn't have chosen a better place than Calabar. It's a safe place, it's hospitable, and of course, for them to choose Calabar, they have their reasons, and we thank them so much because this will help boost, the state and also uplift the profile.
The APRA Summit was the theme, Leapfrogging Africa, the Role of Communication, holds in Calabar from Tuesday, May the 24th, 2016 to Friday, May 27th, 2016.
Benue State Government has commenced construction work on both urban and rural road projects to ease traffic congestion in Makurdi metropolis. Addressing journalists today, Governor Samuel Otom disclosed during the official flag-off of the mobile police barrack in Makurdi and the Origbo-Bajambi rural roads and Guma local government area of the state. He pointed out that the development will stimulate economic activities in rural communities. The governor believes that the road, when completed, will address traffic snarl in the city center and help farmers move their farm produce freely. The number of farms affected by bird flu influenza in Plateau State has increased from 15 to 50. The number was made known by the Public Relations Officer of the State Chapter of Poultry Association of Nigeria, Gladys Chinedu. Our correspondent reports that she's calling on the government to make the needed vaccines available to curtail the spread of the disease in the state.
Plateau State has been in the news for some time now, owing to the outbreak of bird flu influenza in the state. The State Public Relations Officer of the Poultry Association of Nigeria calls on both the government and residents to take the right steps toward food safety.
Between the last report we gave you and now, I think we are having about 15 more increment outbreak. I think as at yesterday we were having about 50 farms already affected.
Although several poultry farmers in the state are denying the knowledge of the disease in the state, others give account of how the disease has put them out of business.
I've never experienced bird flu.
Since you started?
Yes, and I pray I don't experience it.
Okay. I have a farm, but presently I don't have any because of it. Okay. Yeah, just cleared the farm completely. No, it's a very terrible experience.
Residents of the state have been urged to buy poultry animals only from certified abattoirs and poultry farms so as not to fall victim of the bird flu influenza.
The country director, Netherlands Leprosy Relief Nigeria, Lex Marlene, says they are ready to assist Plateau State in eradicating leprosy. Stated this in Jos while in a brief meeting with the State Commissioner for Health.
The country director, Netherlands Leprosy Relief Nigeria, says leprosy, which is highly contagious, is not only preventable but also curable. He calls on the state to do more in preventing the spread of the disease by ensuring that rapid attention is given to infected persons.
49 new cases were detected, of which only one child, so that's far below the average for Nigeria and far below also the average of the 13 states NLR is active in.
In his response, the Plateau State Commissioner for Health says the state has been doing much to prevent the spread of leprosy, which is why there are leprosy supervisors in each local government area of the state.
Because one of the complications of leprosy is that you can have an intoning of the eyelids that makes the hair now to rub on the black part of the eye to go blind.
The health officials urge citizens to shun discrimination against infected persons.
The managing director of Lekki Garden Homes, Richard Young, and contractor in charge of the collapsed 5-story building, Taiwo Dofi, would now have to report daily the Lagos State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, Panti Yaba, to the police complete their investigations. This was a ruling of Chief Magistrate Afolashade Botuku after granting both defendants bail. Richard Young was admitted to bail on self-recognition for the alleged collapsed 5-story building, while Taiwo Dofi was admitted to bail in the like sum of 10 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. Magistrate Botuku also added that the defendants would submit international passports and were not permitted to travel out of the country till the matter is concluded. Botuku had on March 11 ordered the remand of Young and Taiwo when they were arraigned following a remand application brought before it by the police. A 5-story building belonging to Lekki Gardens that was under construction had collapsed on March 8, 2016, killing over 20 persons and injuring several others. Still ahead in the foreign scene, U.S. forces kill ISIL's second-in-command. Bring you details of this and more after this break. Stay with us.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
Angela, that's a great question.
Great question, Angela.
Angela, that is a very great question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah, very good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's an interesting question.
This is an interesting question you pose. 60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Glad to have you back. On the foreign scene, police has launched new raids in Brussels in an operation linked to both the airports and subway bombings. The Federal Prosecutor's Office disclosed today the operation was conducted in the Schaerbeek district as well as the Forest and St. Jude's neighborhoods, and 3 people were detained, with 2 of them shot in the leg. Schaerbeek was also raided Thursday night, and 6 people were initially detained for questioning before 3 of them were eventually released. Schaerbeek District's Mayor Bernard Clefait said the raids were linked to the Brussels attacks and tells us detention of Reda Cricket, a man in France who was convicted in absentia of terrorist activities last year. We now move on to activities in Syria. The army says it has recaptured major parts of the historic and strategic city of Palmyra as battles rage between Syrian army troops and the Islamic State of Iraq, the Levant ICU fighters. Syria state news agency Sana reports that the army, backed by forces loyal to the government, has recaptured the Syria Tel Hill and Palmyra Castle after heavy clashes with ISIL. It also disclosed that the army unit climbed the hill after destroying the last hideout of ISIS terrorist organization and dismantled explosive devices left behind by its members. The Syrian advance comes amid a government offensive to capture Palmyra that began early this month with support from Russian fighter jets. Still on Syria, the second-in-command of the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIL and several key leaders have been killed in a U.S. raid in Syria earlier this week. Addressing journalists in Washington today, U.S. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter disclosed that the U.S. forces killed a senior ISIL leader known as Haji Iman, marking a further erosion of top leadership in the armed group, also known as ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Carter said Haji Iman is a well-known terrorist within ISIL's ranks, pointing out that they are systematically eliminating ISIL's cabinet. The U.S. Defense Secretary said the removal of this ISIL leader will hamper the ability for them to conduct operations inside and outside of Iraq and Syria. The UN has condemned the gruesome killing of a wounded Palestinian by an Israeli soldier in the West Bank after a video of the shooting went viral. In a statement, UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, Nikolay Mildadinov, strongly condemned the apparent extrajudicial execution of a Palestinian assailant in Hebron in the occupied West Bank. He commended the Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Yaalon for condemning the incident and called on Israeli authorities to swiftly bring to justice the alleged perpetrator. The Israeli army earlier on Thursday arrested a soldier caught on video shooting an injured alleged Palestinian attacker in the head as he lay on the ground after stabbing another soldier. We now move on to sports.
Power style, and that's what he delivered.
Nigeria Super Eagles will be needing more than luck if they must seal their place as African champions. The team drew 1-1 with the Pharaohs in the first leg of the 2017 AFCON qualifiers against Egypt in Kaduna today. Meanwhile, captain of the Nigerian side, John Obi Mikel, has slammed Egypt's players for not playing fairly in today's 1-1 draw in Kaduna. He says the Pharaohs should have applied the rules of fair play when the Super Eagles defender fell on the pitch. Ogene Karo Table's goal gave the Eagles lead until very late when Mohamed Salah pounced on the ball behind the Nigeria backline after defender Godfrey Obabuna had fallen on the pitch. The Eagles remain 2 points behind the Pharaohs, who have 7 points at top Group G, with Tanzania lying in third place with 4 points and Chad yet to earn any. The federal government has set out to fulfill its promise of financial reward to members of the victorious Golden Eaglet for winning the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Chile. The crediting of accounts, which is being handled by the Ministry of Finance in collaboration with the National Sports Commission, and has been coming in batches. The players are each getting 1.2 million naira, while officials comprising coaches and backroom staff are to get 500,000 naira each. The transfer policy of the various banks in the country has, however, resulted in delay. We now move on to tennis. 17-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer pulled out of his comeback match against Juan Martín del Potro at the Miami Open, citing a stomach bug as reason. The 34-year-old had in January suffered a knee injury while running a bath for his twin daughters and was due to make his return today. Federer's place in the draw is taken by lucky loser Horacio Zibales of Argentina. His last match was his Australian Open semi-final defeat to world number 1 Novak Djokovic. Federer's original comeback plan had focused on the clay court season in Europe next month, and that now appears to be the likely schedule. Ex-Sunderland footballer Adam Johnson has been sentenced to 6 years imprisonment for grooming and sexual activity with a girl aged 15. Judge Jonathan Rose, while sentencing the 28-year-old soccer star, told him he had abused a position of trust and caused his victims severe psychological harm. The sexual activity with the girl happened in the footballer's Range Rover in January 2015 after he had groomed her using social media applications. In the course of the investigation, police found extreme pornography involving animals on Johnson's laptop. And finally, tonight, soccer fans have continued to shower encomiums on late soccer legend Johan Cruyff, who died on Thursday, March 24, aged 68. As a player, a coach, and advisor and one of the game's great thinkers, Cruyff transformed football in the modern era, leaving a lasting legacy. Cruyff led Ajax to 3 European Cups and won the Ballon d'Or 3 times as well. Under the revolutionary Rinus Michels, Johan became the leading exponent of a new playing style, total football, and together the pair also led Netherlands to the World Cup final in 1974, losing out to West Germany in Munich. Johan Cruyff was born in 1947. His mother worked as a cleaner for Ajax and his stepfather was a laborer at the Amsterdam club. Cruyff's legacy lives after him. And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. Thank you so very much for staying with us tonight. I am Nina Oragwa. Do have a beautiful night rest and, of course, enjoy your Easter celebration.